and welcome to the New World Review. I'm Grandline Waifu, and this here is my friend Bisky. Say hello to the fans, Bisky. Hello! Now, Bisky, tell us a bit about yourself. Well, I look young for my age, but I have super hunter powers, and I'm more powerful than any of the other kid characters on the... Sorry, we're going to have to stop you there for a moment. Hisky, please stop trying to sneak onto set. It's Biscay's segment. No, Soki, please no swing. You said you wouldn't do this. Let's just move on with the segment. Episode 64. There's a lot to discuss about the overall balance of this episode, and we got a clear definition between the storylines today, but can I start by saying how wonderful it is to see Gon and Killua learning together. The relationship between them is developing into that of teammates. Before they were two kids sort of traveling together, now they're teammates flowing together, and the training is bringing their ability together really well. We've seen their special skills a lot in the show, but having Bisky note, is it Bisky or Biscay? Biscay! Note that Killua's strength is in his analysis and physical strength, while Gon's is in concentration and recovery, is a great callback to the transmuter enhancer aspects of them. Killua's analysis and physical strength in the dark a few episodes back meant that he could dislocate his fingers and free himself, picking up the plan Leorio was laying down. Meanwhile, Gon's focus leads him to ask the right questions and get himself back on track, despite not being the smartest cookie in the tin. It's incredible to see, and I love the detail that's gone into thinking through how that story is told and interpreted, and how it's allowed to be interpreted by the audience before it's said. That Bisky is enjoying the training process is also evident. She's a little nutty, and I like that she finally fixed her hairstyle. I've been watching it this whole time thinking, okay, sure, but someone who cares so much about protecting their hands with white gloves would do something about that, whether they're focused on it or not. Like, I would do something. That gets heavy. Like, you get lopsided. Like, but it's done, and I'm glad. Okay, so we got an episode of extreme learning today, on a day when I was not really prepared for extreme learning. Remember how last week I was discussing the weirdness involved in pantsing the story and deciding to tell people everything about a given topic? Well, today we learned about an entire system of magical combat. Now, I understand that as a kid, I would have hung on this, I think. I'd have been in my lounge room intently taking all the positions to release my korentenen. And it should. The idea that Togashi's thought through this world so much that the story is tied into us knowing and understanding how and why we're doing what we're doing is really admirable. I'm sure you can hear a big butt pooting around there, because here it comes. But on several occasions, I've mentioned my concerns with kids that age watching this show. I don't actually know, because I haven't looked at it, what recommended age for the manga and anime actually are. I'm also not trying to underestimate the amount that kids can perceive and deduce about the world. I've had kids tell me the most incredibly perceptive things about politics and the state of the world, so it's not that at all. It's the combination of the characters involved, the world, the detail given, and the violence. The problem with anything animated is, unfortunately, that it's animated. Bright colors are wonderful, and they draw the eye and they get everyone interested at first glance before we really connect with things. We love bright colors, but for example, bright colors don't mean safety, and they don't mean something's for child consumption. As an 8-year-old, I would have been diving across the lounge room and flipping into chairs in amazement that movement so slow as Bisky's could have such an intense reaction on a character I know to be extremely powerful. Adult waifu thinks that's amazing too, and if I had a couch in the room where I watch these episodes, I probably would be flipping onto the couch anyway. I love that it happened, but I don't know that 8-year-old me would have taken in that amount of detail from the rest of the episode, and I don't know that year-old me needs it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think there may have been a better way to tell this particular chunk of story. There is so much information coming at me when what I want is the story moving forward. Do I need to know the entire history of rock, paper, scissors? I know it's fascinating, and it genuinely is fascinating, but still, do I need that much detail on top of everything? And I'm just one person, and I totally get that, but just when I start to get a handle on exactly what ten, ren, nen, yo, and the others are, all of a sudden there's more to link into. It's like I'm being sent to a Power Kid school, and while I'm loving the story of how they come of age and grow strong and achieve their ambitions and learn to sync up even with their separate skill sets, and I don't even want to say uninterested. I just don't know if the information is organized in a way that makes it easy for me to understand and remember week to week, which, if you recall, is how I watch these. I watch 2 episodes a week, which is still more than someone who watched it when it aired got, and less than someone binging arcs. weeks. For a little more context as to why I do it this way, I basically work more than full-time hours. I literally don't have the time to binge anything, and I spend a lot of my week thinking about other things. That the show still engages me is simply incredible, because I'm really hard to keep engaged in things long term, and I know that annoys Liam. I love watching anime when I get time, and right now that time is Hunter x Hunter. If you need higher praise for the show than that, I really can't give it to you. And the fact that there is actually enough in it for me to wax lyrical or get mad at it every week for a fair chunk of time tells you something about that too. I do not dislike this show. I just kind of need concepts moved around a bit, or for it not to feel like a textbook is being read at me, because I start to drift. Anyway, jumping to the end of the episode, let's briefly talk about the cult of the bomber, please, because that's what it is, isn't it, right? They joined a cult and now they've been tagged with culty ickiness and they need to deal with that. The places they'd all been touched to get bombs placed on them, some of them on their heads and faces. I'm sorry, no one is allowed to touch my head like that and say weird words, especially Bomber. What even makes you think that's okay? Rip Pooh Hat, I guess. Tried to be clever all the way to the end. Failed, as expected. It's such a cat and mouse game that's being played on that side of the table. I'm still not sure where this arc is going, but it seems as though there are going to be a number of weird people trying to get hold of whatever Gon and Killua have. Gon and Killua, meanwhile, have become stronger, so it seems very much as though they're going to have another, haha, they're kids. Wait, no, kids can't do this situation. I simply can't wait. I mean, I really can. This trope is becoming a trope now, and so I'm hoping that's not where it goes, but let's see. Oh, also, are the Phantom Troop just going to start killing people from outside the game? If anything, I want more of that story. Tell me more about what's going on there, and let's see what happens next. Episode 65. Today I learned that volleyball can be really dangerous. Like, more dangerous than that volleyball anime that I was watching for a little bit. That I'll get back to it. Having come in from the outside, apparently you can't do what the Phantom Troop tried to do and cheat your way in, which honestly I'm glad about. I guess someone has to protect the items they have, but also, have they just lined all the bodies of those in the game out on this rocky island? And how is this dangerous volleyballer just sitting around? If Gon goes and talks to him, will he learn where his father is? Is he the last person that, you see in the game? Is he like the end boss? Will the end boss tell him where his dad is? I have so many questions that won't be answered because they decided to actually play by the rules. Damn it, Troop. How am I supposed to learn meta mechanics of this strange world if you're going to go in through the front door and try to beat it? That's unfair. Also, actually, to be clear, these pre-episode and mini interludes are exactly the storytelling I want to teach me about how the world works, rather than, oh no, please help me, why is there so much text on the screen and how am I supposed to know what this card does without pausing every time to read it? That would have seriously stressed me out as a kid, young adult. I mean, seeing the card stresses me out now. They don't discuss what the card can do more than... Look, they do discuss what the card can do, but they don't give you enough information about what the card can do for you to then not need to pause the episode. They just put the text up and use it a moment later. I are stressed. I'm sorry this episode so far has been focused on the overall aesthetic of the series, but it's something that's been building up for some time to this point, so I just needed to be done with it. Blech. It's interesting seeing Bisky being supportive verbally, but thinking about how childish Gon is quietly. I don't know that they've had someone like this before, who has the passion of a teacher but the sass of a protagonist. I don't know how to explain it. I like it though. It brings me back to the differences between Bisky and Hisky, really. She wants him to be all he can be, as does Hisoka. Are they working together to bring the perfect combatant to life? Has he been practicing his 10 anywhere else? She's been watching him the whole time and he's been sleeping with rocks over his head. I suppose they've been going for months at this point. What are the others doing while this is going on? It's such a beautiful thing to see Killua meeting the random were-people Gon met in the beginning, for them to remember him and for the exam to be starting again. I take back what I said a few episodes ago. I'm kind of excited to see, as long as it's sped up, the process of the Hunter exam. Does that mean we're going to see, that guy who did the thing with the Zephyr, that's his name. See, I remember names. Does that mean we'll see Zephyr? And hang on, the dude who messed people up. What's his name? Bing Bong. Poopy McDrinky Pants. No, you know who I mean. I can't remember his name right now. Look, I remember some names. I don't remember all names. Shush. He ended up getting tied up near the end of the exam. It was great. That guy. Anyway, Gon's learning how to scissor paper rock strongman style, and there was something great about seeing the art of this episode develop, because we're starting to see in action frames Gon's musculature develop, and I don't think that's a mistake. I think it's a great piece of detail. Despite being kids, there's only so much you can work your aura, only so many mountains you can dig through, only so many punches you can throw, before even as a kid your muscles begin to pop or you don't look so lean and wiry. You can tell time is passing because even if they don't look older, their bodies are changing, and I can't say how much I appreciate that. Dude Bra that came to warn them got a snuggly caterpillar creature friend. He didn't really come to warn them expecting much though. We can add him to the underestimates, physically unimposing children pile, which seems to encompass everyone except Hisoka, the Phantom Troop, Wing. Okay, it seems to encompass everyone we could describe as a main character, so I won't list them all. Now that we've been introduced to the real villain of this arc, let's get into it. I'm kind of excited for Gon to have to deal with someone who's just flat out evil. There's no recourse for that guy. He's simply evil. Not even mentally ill. That's not mentally ill. He knows exactly what he's doing and could choose not to do that thing. Hisoka has motivations and doesn't do things just to be mean. He has problems, but he's not plain evil. Gon and Killua are mini psychopaths, but they have passions and hopes and dreams, and to a certain extent, I feel like they're trying to be better than they are, but don't know how. That guy, evil. Until we're given some intense backstory, but even then, evil. And on that evil note, that's it from me. If you enjoyed this and want to see or hear more, click on this thing, and this thing. There's also a Discord and another thing over here, and don't forget thumbs up, thumbs down. There are thumbs, have thumbs, all thumbs for you, and I'll see you next time.